Hi, I'm Tannen Baldwin. A lot of you probably don't know me, but that's alright. You'll probably get to know me by the end of this. Some of you do. That's fine. For those of you who don't, let me give you a quick rundown of the last 29 years of my life. Day one, I was born with several heart defects. These heart defects changed the way my blood worked and all that. Made it to about age 8. At age 8, I had a heart transplant in Denver, Colorado. Wonderful hospital, Denver Children's, by the way. Gotta give a shout out to them. Oh God, I just said shout out. Anyways, um, anyways, after 8, 5 years passed. At 13, I developed what's called post-transplant lymphoproliferative disorder. Now, for those of you who can't pronounce that, because it's taken me 29 years to figure out how, it's basically non-Hodgkins lymphoma, which is a cancer of the lymph system, a part of your immune system. Google it. I'm not going to sit here and explain. I'm trying to keep this short. And that took about, when I was diagnosed with it when I was 13, and that took about 2.5 years total, because I was diagnosed in March, but I'm not going to sit here and nitpick dates. And after that, things were relatively okay. I had kind of a bad rejection my senior year caused by a staph infection that I got in my leg because I had broke my leg when I had the cancer. Turns out I had a tumor on the leg. I broke the leg when I had cancer. They plate and pinned it. They removed my plate and pin at the start of my senior year. I developed what I thought was bursitis in it. They took out the plate and pin, developed an infection in the incision, and they had to go clean it back out. And that infection led to a rejection. And now you know, well, welcome to my life. That's about how things go here in the Baldwin household. So, cancer at 13, slightly major rejection at 18 into 19. And then everything was fine for a while. I had some little rejectionist things. I just realized you can't see my hands on camera. Not helping. Anyways, I'm not going to fiddle with the time. Anyways, went fine. I went to college at Fort Hays State University for a little while, changed majors, moved to Chicago to study film and animation. And while I was there, at 23, we discovered that the original graft of the first transplant was failing, so I went home again back here to wonderful Elkhart, Kansas. The people here are great, but there's not much to do. Anyways, other than sit in your basement and make videos. Anyways, so we get to Denver. The heart was retransplanted. So I've had 2 now heart transplants. That makes for a total of 4 chest openings. Oh, if you can see that on camera. Yeah, probably not. Oh well, I'll show you later. We'll get to the nudity later. You'll like that part. It's just a top. Anyways, got that done, and that was 2011. I was 23. Ran out of money for Columbia College Chicago because I had already done like 6 years of school. So I left. I came and I followed my brother to Seattle, Washington. I loved it up there. I will most likely be going back at some point in my life, but life had other plans. Well, not really like life can have plans, but you get the idea. Anyways, 4 years approximately in Washington, and we come to find out that I now have lymphoma again, the post-transplant lymphoproliferative disorder. Lymphoproliferative disorder. Yeah, it's a long word. Several words. Anyways, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma again. So, here I am. It is currently stage 4. It is The current tumors that we know of are in my left flank here, and that tumor has, what led us to discover this, had moved over into my jejunum, or, sorry, medical term, top of my small intestines, basically, on the left side. And that was restricting things from moving on, as we should say. And so we found out that was there. So, being that I didn't want to burden my brother and his wife on taking care of me for possibly the next 3 years, I moved home, back here to my basement room in my parents' house in southwest Kansas. Now I know what you're saying. Oh, look at this, another 30-year-old millennial living in his parents' basement. Well, yeah, but I'm also kind of dying too, so, anyways. Sorry, Mom. So here I am. Today was my first day of chemotherapy. We've had some issues getting Medicaid started. I don't actually have health insurance, and the health insurance I had in Washington won't transfer because it was Washington Medicaid. Anyways, wow, that is distracting. Sorry, I have a facial tracking feature on my phone. Oh, look, it's tracking my finger. Anyways, I'm easily amused, so these will probably have heavy cuts. But I wanted to get this started tonight and get some short videos out. This one will go out unedited. The rest will hopefully be more edited, with some better intro, some ADR, that kind of stuff. Not ADR, but overlay and that kind of stuff. But this is just a nice introduction. Today was my first day of chemotherapy. It went relatively well. I haven't thrown up yet. I got relatively nauseous when the Rituxan, one of the chemotherapy drugs, was started. About 30 minutes, 15 minutes into it, I leaned back, closed my eyes, put some music on, and I was all right. Probably about a half hour later. Yeah, a little nice half hour nap. So, luckily, I don't have to go back to get chemo with me tomorrow. Because I have my handy dandy mobile pump, which is currently, and for the next 24 hours from 3 o'clock, but don't expect me to do the math, pumping a nice cocktail of chemotherapy drugs into my system. These chemotherapy drugs are going to be a little rougher than the Rituxan could be, but I'm getting them over a longer period of time, so they might not be as bad, but probably expect me to go bald in a couple of weeks. As you can see, this nice cocktail has a nice orangey pinkish color to it. I'm not going to get the whole thing out because that would be a mess. That is from the grenadine. Love some grenadine. No, it's not actually from grenadine. It's from a chemotherapy drug called doxorubicin, also known as Red Devil. It's actually red in color and is let's call it the Samuel L. Jackson of the bunch. That's Shaft jokes on. Bad mother. Shut your mouth. You get what I'm talking about. Okay. Anyways, so this is doxorubicin. Let's see. Vincristine. Ooh, that's a fun one I remember from my first time. It made my jaw hurt so bad I couldn't eat solid food for a week. Luckily, I like soup and mac and cheese and mashed potatoes. Basically, things with lots of salt, but yeah. And etoposide. So, all of these drugs put together, including the prednisone, if you don't know what prednisone is, it's a pill steroid. Not this kind of steroid, but more like make me break out and rage every once in a while for no apparent reason steroid. And the Rituxan I took earlier today makes this for this handy dandy cocktail called Epoch, or R-Epoch, Repoch, whatever you want to call it. Either way. And if Christine has a name that starts with an E, don't worry about it. Or sorry, with a C. Either way, it's the standard first line treatment for post or non-Hodgkins lymphoma. But that's what I'm getting. So all I gotta do is haul around the ball and chain, and for the next 5 days, counting tomorrow, or starting tomorrow, I will be refilling the bag at my oncologist's clinic every day for the next 5 days. And that will give me a ton of drugs, not necessarily the fun kind. And then I get a week off, so that's nice. And then I get to start again. And we don't know what's going to happen after week 2. It all depends on how this first round goes. Hopefully it goes, less rounds than the Mayweather McGregor fight. But only one of these is that mean. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling, so I'm going to wrap this up. Tomorrow I'm taking off. My family and I are taking off for Wichita, Kansas to actually see my oncologist and a new cardiologist in Wichita to get established in care and to check up and see how the chemotherapy is going and all that stuff. I'll try to get some footage from the road. We'll see. My phone's kind of messed up at the moment. I kind of dropped it. Yeah, I am a little clumsy. Anyways, I did manage to illustrate my clumsiness. I did manage to break my leg while on crutches. So, there's that. Anyways, so that's pretty much it for tonight. So I wanted to keep this short and sweet, but this probably went about way too long than I want it to be. I'm going to try and keep these edited down to about 5 minutes, between 5 and 10 minutes, but this first one gets to be a super long cut because I don't feel like editing. So, for all of you who do know me and those of you who are helping with the different funds in town, there's also a crowdfunding site called You Caring. I'll call You Caring. I feel a little bit weird giving out the address myself, but it's called Tannen's Warriors if you're interested or curious. There's also lots of other great things going on, and if you can't necessarily give a lot to me right now, I actually would like to ask you to go ahead and give a little bit to the people dealing with the floods in Houston. Theirs is a little more immediate than mine. I mean, granted, mine's cancer, but I'm not threatened with drowning tomorrow. So, excuse me. Yeah, see, like that would be cut out in the next videos. Anyways, so that's it. So, for those of you who are interested in helping, there are those options. I'll get more information as it goes. Again, it feels a little weird for me to be giving out things asking for money, but that's life, I guess. Anyways, I just wanted to wish everybody peace, good night's sleep, because I'm probably not going to get one, and love, and I hope you're all doing fine. And we'll see how this goes. Good night.